Okay, so today we're taking a look at Dead or School on the Nintendo Switch. Is this anime-influenced hack and slash worth your time, or has it been just a little ambitious and failed the grade? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out today. I've been really excited for this one myself, so yeah, if you love the Switch as much as we do, hit that subscribe button, join our growing family, leave the video a like if it helps you out, and then below in the comments let me know some of your favourite 2D hack and slash titles to play right now on your Switch. Alright, with that, let's do this. Okay, I'm going to admit this one caught me totally off guard. I went into this one, quite honestly, with the lowest of low expectations for story. I figured this would be a game that, to be honest, actually made you dumber. Well, I'm happy to say they totally proved me wrong. I actually had a great time with this one's storyline. So here's the summary. Mankind has been overrun by mutants, and they've lived underground in subways for the last 70 odd years. Hisako, our main hero though, was born into this system, so she's never known, pre-mutant life or life above ground. One thing though I will say for sure fascinates her: school. Why? Because her grandmother told her it was a paradise where children play and learn together. And yeah, that's strange, I know it sounds very different to the school I went to, but with this dream in mind, Hisako sets out to take back Tokyo and save children, all while weirdly wearing her school uniform. The only negative I can really think of for the story is some of the translation is just kind of a little bit off. It's not going to ruin it for you or anything, but just know that there's going to be the occasional grammatical error here and there, and you'll always know what's happening, but it's kind of obvious it was a pretty direct translation, and that doesn't always make complete sense. Overall, it's for sure weird, but you know what? It's almost like a popcorn movie. You're not going to remember half of it by the time the credits roll, but I know one thing, you're going to have a great time getting there nonetheless. So here we get a 2.5D side-scrolling hack and slash title with a heavy dose of Metroidvania for good measure. Each level here is a major subway station where you'll be taking out mutants, solving the occasional puzzle, and saving people along the way. So working your way through these huge Metroidvania style maps though, controls are everything, and I'm happy to say they are nearly perfect in every single way. They're tight, responsive, and that just leads to some seriously exciting encounters with its combat system. So at a basic level, combat comes down to 3 weapons: a melee weapon, a gun, and some sort of explosive rocket launcher. These weapons though, they're interchangeable as you progress, and you'll have to put some serious thought into your choices. Do you want a melee weapon that's quick but light on damage, or the other way around, do you want it to be slow but with some seriously heavy damage? Also, you can expect to not just be choosing different weapons, but modding the existing ones you have to improve their performance. It's a simple system that is well implemented. We've seen it 1,000 times before, there's no doubt about that, but it provides a level of flexibility that kept the combat always feeling fresh through its lengthy story, because this is actually, you can easily sink 20 hours plus into this thing. The game even forces you to switch things up with what you're using. Ammo's going to run out for certain guns, certain enemies demand you to use a specific weapon. For example, I rarely touched the machine gun, I was pretty much sticking to the sword, but some enemies the game made me use it, and that's a great thing that it's doing there, it's making you experiment. Alongside combat then, we get tight movement controls with a double jump ability and a dodge mechanic that I absolutely loved. It's obviously good for not only dodging enemy attacks, but if you time it right, this will even slow down time so you can really get in there and kick your enemies' asses. These enemies then as well, they come in so many varieties, which I always like. I always appreciate when they put that effort in. It's the typical introduce a new enemy design every level or so, but I like it. It kept me excited to see what was coming next. What different abilities would they have? How would they challenge me? And that just kept on driving me forward. I will say as well, just wait till you start facing some of the huge bosses in here as well. They are absolutely epic. Outside of the core gameplay then, the rest of your time is going to be spent mainly in menus, leveling up, setting abilities, changing weapons, adapting weapons. This though, it adds some serious, almost RPG depth to the experience as you're leveling, Asako and her weapons up. I just wish they were a little bit more user friendly and easier to navigate, because as menus go, these things are convoluted. I mean, just look at them. They do very little to help you out or really explain themselves, and I will say this did actually slow down the experience for me at first. I felt like I was working it out for myself. Now once I got the system down, I could get my way through it and I could get through them pretty quickly, but just know they are kind of dated in their design, that's for sure. Overall though, for gameplay, a weak menu system just can't hold back a game that clearly, they put some serious work into this. Tight controls, fun combat, excellent enemies, and just some huge maps to explore. Gameplay wise, it's getting a thumbs up from me. So what do I like? Well, character models look excellent. I love Asaku's overall look, and the enemies are constantly varied, especially the huge ass bosses. I also really like the design of the characters you're going to be saving and meeting as you progress the story forward. I also really like the character icons, like the huge Hisako you see in the top left corner of the screen. And they're using this for like the stills for text-based moments as well, for those story moments. They're strong as well. Yes, I would have liked to have seen a bit more animation for them, but what we get is honestly fine. These characters, they're here to catch that anime vibe that clearly inspires the game, and they for sure hit that mark. Even the cutscenes, some are 3D, some 2D, I enjoyed them for what they were, but I will say the quality is a little low on them. Expect a bit of a kind of blurred look to everything, especially when you're watching on TV. But yeah, still, again, I thought they look great. I can't really complain too much here. I gotta say as well, even though the characters look nice, sometimes the animation's just off. You'll see when you're walking, you're literally just kind of like diagonal slanted. There's no reaction to the footsteps they're taking or the environment around them. Sadly though, these good points are then met with their fair share of downsides. The 2D sprites in this 3D world, they don't really blend together very well. It looks okay, but just occasionally it will look kind of like extremely weird, like Paper Mario being faded, Mario 64. I think it's when the camera angle's moving around. The environments, and they've done a great job at variety in a world where it could have been very similar. Let's face it, it's one subway station after another. So respect for what they've done there. But I will say though, the graphical detail of these worlds look like maybe kind of GameCube era. Low detail, boxy looking environments. They just don't stand up to the best in genre for the current generation. Then the big problems for me, the interface over the screen is just way too big. It's taking up like 25% of the screen here. And it looks good, I'll say that. I just think they could have scaled it back a bit. While they're doing that as well, while they're making it smaller, I feel like they could have zoomed in the camera a little more. For gameplay, these characters here and enemies are just tiny, especially in handheld mode. So be aware of that if you're playing on a Switch Lite where you're restricted to that, because to be honest, I had to hold the screen pretty close to my face for this one. Look, it's not that it's bad, there is good in here, it just also has a lot of dated visuals. Now, did it impact my experience? Not even slightly, but I will say if you're sensitive to, your games have to have the best graphics and all that sort of stuff. I found charm in the visual style personally. I like that kind of retro vibe to things, but I will say as well, I know that it's an acquired taste, so just go in prepared. So soundtrack wise, it's mostly strong. Audio is a mix of everything from rock to electronic to orchestral. It's all largely, fast paced and suitably epic. It's pretty much exactly what you would expect. Very little emotion, but it is a decent soundtrack to kicking some ass. Then the sound effects, the weapons, the explosions, they all add weight to the visuals on screen. My only complaints, I would have loved some actual voice acting in here to bring the dialogue moments to life. It has a lot of text this game, so even just like the occasional word here and there would have added just a tiny bit of personality. And I would have liked some in-fight like grunts and sounds from enemies and from Asako herself. Audio though, it delivers where it needs to. You're not going to be listening to the music offline or anything, but it avoids that trap of, just becoming annoying, which is pretty much all you can ask for an experience that goes over that 20-hour mark. So Dead or School joins the Switch at a budget price of $29.99, £24.99 or €29.99. You're getting a whole lot of game here for your money, honestly. Yes, there's some dated visuals, a weird design decision here and there, like the camera being a mile away from you for some reason, and then I will say an overly complicated menu system. But these problems, they can't hold back a game that delivers in all the core areas, exciting combat, tight controls, a cool ass story, and just simply put a great cast of characters. Today, I'm giving Dead or School a great 8 out of 10. I had a huge amount of fun in this world. The pricing is absolutely fair, and I hope a sequel is in the works, because this, no doubt, is going to drive a cult following in the years to come. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we do. We have a ton of content live over on the channel right now, and there's even more coming up in the future. Like the video if we helped you out, and let me know your favourite 2D hack and slash in the comments below. I'll see you all on the next video.